Welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome, guys. Forgive me, I've been not feeling too well. Talked to you idiots for about an hour earlier. Welcome and hello, hello and welcome. Before I just insult you, let me say welcome, hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello. It is Un Poco Mas, the show where we attempt in vain to give you just a little bit more. Today, of course, like every day, like a broken record, we're talking about SMCI, Supermicro Computer Inc. And today was the big day, guys. We were all, as scared as we could be. We thought the filing was at least going to drop today during trading. At least I did. But the more people I asked, is not really uncommon to release these things a little bit after trading closes. You don't want this crazy volatility. You don't want a halt. You don't want too many questions being asked when you have the background of an SMCI. But it's just interesting. One thing you'll notice is just how crazy this price fixing is, and how much money the shorts and the bears and probably some longs as well have thrown at this. But you see 40 minutes after the market closes, the stock is kind of trading, consolidating a little bit up here toward 57. And then the algo, pushes it down a lot, 25 cents on this tick, kind of pulling it down. And then you see two candles here. This one opens at 56.40 and goes all the way down to 55.80 and then closes at 55.91. So it lost 50 cents in that 1 minute. And then the next minute, lo and behold, it goes from 55.85 all the way to 55.36 and closes. So it lost another 40 cents, basically going down, a dollar in 2 minutes. And this is just how, the price action has been on this stock. It's been very ham-handed, amateur shorts who are basically selling a bill of goods. They're selling a fictitious narrative that was invented out of sort of these, various pieces of evidence that Hindenburg and some of these others put together by, interviewing people that were disgruntled, former employees who had lawsuits against the company, or, interviewing people about these, one of the things they made a really big deal about was these related party sales that, relatives of the, family that owns SMCI, they own some of these other companies. And they work hand in hand, back and forth. They do, outsource the manufacturing to these companies of some of their components, particularly power supplies. They do, another of the companies does cooling, but they make it out like it's this, the bulk of their business, where it's all fraudulent. It's all just pushing paper back and forth. But if you look at the sales, related party sales were $69 million out of $15 billion. And this is coming straight out of the 10. So this isn't the fiction they make up, or from some, person who hasn't worked there in 3 or 4 years out of a lawsuit. These are audited financials by the great reliable folks at BDO. LOL. They're a legitimate auditor. Let's face it. And this was prime time for them. This is probably one of their biggest client, if not their. Usually, all these companies this size are all audited by the big four companies. So BDO is the fifth, and that's fine. I mean, you got to start somewhere. They regain compliance. That's what's important. And then sales is so 69 million out of. It's not like 0.5%. And then the bigger one is related party purchases that go under the cost of sales. And that was only, it's a lot, 500 million, but that's out of 13 billion in terms of the cost of sales. So, it's still, what is that, like 3% or something? It's very, very little. And, there's nothing really wrong with, structuring the business this way. It's just some of it was not disclosed when it should have been. That's what Hindenburg alleges. And improper revenue recognition. Now, the stuff, like I said the whole time, the stuff they were alleging, if it was all true, doesn't amount to a hill of beans. So it's all, people want to know what's this going to do, tomorrow. And what I would say is just be careful. Don't be fooled. Because, they're obviously trying to step on the stock at 55, and this is an important level. If you look, it consolidated here significantly after hours. It acted as support on the 20th. It acted as support 3 times on the 19th. acted as resistance here overnight on the 25th twice. And then they're trying to basically, if you look at this over the short term, they're trying to flip this red dotted line from support that it was over here the last 5 days to resistance. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. And why? One word: volume. Volume is back up 117 million. And it wasn't the short churn and burn, tiny wing, shine box, type of qualification. What's the number one, qualifications for these shorts? So you got to have a tiny wing so you can stay focused. That's the key. That's the key to being a big, and there are legitimate short sellers out there. And I'm sure, a lot of the cases Hindenburg made were legitimate. They made, prosecutions out of them and different stuff. So, but a lot of them are just basically, throwing a bunch of allegations that can't be sorted out in a timely manner. So the damage is done, you get the hit and then they make their money quickly. But the difference is Hindenburg knows to get out. They cover at that low, 18, 19, 20, and they're done. They make a fortune. They go from 48 or 70 or 89, and they cover down at 20. And their hedge fund partners cover down at 20. They basically create panic amongst retail investors, and the beneficiaries are themselves and market makers who end up buying these shares from you and I, retarders, extra cheap. So I like extra cheese. I don't like selling my shares extra cheap. Why do I think, the number's 89? Well, I mean, these same players, if you really think about it, these same players drove the stock up over 120 back at the beginning of 2024. Sales are increasing rapidly, and with margins, they say margins are going to improve. You're going to have sales going, from 14. And granted, this last year, they, weren't increasing EPS on the back of an increase in sales, but they're making a lot of investments into the company. So I don't think they're wasting these funds. And people are like, well, they're having to raise money desperately. No, they're raising money because of hypergrowth. I mean, growth of 65, 110%, 54% on the top line, then, forecasting 65% on the top line the following year. This is insane growth. This is hyper growth. And the multiple they're getting is less than 1 year's forward sales. You'd think they were losing money, the multiple they're getting. You'd think this company just started up and was like hemorrhaging cash and buried in debt and about to go bankrupt. But that was never the case. You're guilty because they accuse you. People will just assume, well, Hindenburg made these accusations, Ernst & Young resigned, therefore you're guilty. You heard Kramer, saying that. He's like, allegations equals sell. He's like, accounting irregularities, even allegations, any allegation equals sell. And then he came back around in a couple weeks after it made a parabolic move. He's like, it's amazing. I'm surprised he didn't cry. Like he cries over how great Anthony Noto's hair is because he's bald. He's jealous. Even though he has billions of dollars in a charitable trust. No reason to be jealous. Anyway, guys, so what can we really expect tomorrow? I think the important thing to note is even though they weren't shorting the last couple of days, volume was quite a bit less. Where they were shorting extremely heavily, you see on the 18th and especially the 19th. The 19th is the day they shorted the heaviest, and the 19th was that insane day where there was like 350 million shares volume. So they shorted a ton of shares there. I think it behooves them to start covering tomorrow because I think, the smart money sees the writing on the wall. They already own 54% of the shares, and they're going to own more. Insiders own, there's just not that many shares to go around. You have a huge increase of demand tomorrow. You have a scarcity of shares. You have a ton of shares on loan. You have a ton of shares sold short. You have a stock that's on the tip of everybody's tongue. I mean, this is an explosive powder keg. It's a gravy train with biscuit wheels. It's everything to everyone. I mean, the information, there was like the thing about it, DT, is that it wasn't all fake information. There was like a kernel of truth in it. Like, okay, they exported something in violation to Russia, but then, they got into compliance quickly. It's like, if every company that's in the tech space selling billions and billions of dollars, they've never done one export violation, never accounted for one sale in the wrong period of time, never had an overly aggressive outside sales team that's trying to, bring their commissions forward. People that are trying to help their family out by, having these relationships with companies that family members own. None of this amounts to fraud. None of this amounts to, making up sales, made up numbers, missing money. It's not there. And if you look at the 10K and if you look at the quarterly, the most recent quarterly, their cash position is increased. And of course, part of that's the 700 million, they just raised, but the cash position is fine vis-a-vis the debt. Yes, they do have a lot of inventory, but they're pretty confident, even if they have to discount some of it, they're going to be able to sell that through, because not everything is Blackwell. There's still, plenty of people using AMD, Intel. There's still plenty of data centers that are not, graphics processor based. There's still plenty of old school stuff. So they should be able to sell most of that inventory through. Their receivables inventory and stuff's still too high. But the company is not drowning in debt. The company makes quite a bit of money. And if you just look at improving margins and the fact that they've already made a huge investment in a new factory, they've already invested a lot back into the company, and then their sales are going to go from just under 15 billion to 24 billion and then to conservatively 40 billion, you can start to extrapolate the type of increase you think you're going to see in EPS. And even if you're very, very conservative, I think over the next 2 years, EPS should move up 80%, 100%. I mean, I'm not smart enough to put a fine point on these things. But it's extremely hard to sell this as worth 1x forward sales, growing the top line at 60% while making money, debt totally under control, decent cash position. And what's really important is just fundamentally this company's core competencies match up perfectly with this NVIDIA explosion, this data center explosion. It's almost like a case where everything they've been doing the last couple decades are just in the right place, the right time. The stars aligned. I quote Paris Hilton, the stars align, even if the skies are crazy. You guys remember that Paris Hilton song she did? Not a bad song. Kind of had a Blondie vibe to it. Anyway, guys, welcome, hello, and welcome, and hello. It's 50, it's up basically $10 overnight. You can see the short step. And this is not how, they're even controlling the price on Robinhood now. And you can see why they want it here. They held it here before. Give you a check of the quote unquote live short interest. Not really that alive right now, but supposedly they returned 1.8 million shares. Cost to borrow is still extremely low. Got about 162 million shares on loan, 95 million shares hold short, representing a 19 million, 19% of the free float. I don't think that's accurate at all. I think when these official reports come out, which should be basically any day now, you're going to see this number actually go up. That's my opinion, but I've been known to be wrong. And so much depends on, NVIDIA earnings. And more importantly than their earnings, of course, is their, forward-looking statements, their guidance. Because, so much of SMCI's business is tied up with this Blackwell launch and their allocation, the fact they got to get their cash flow in order so they can start taking these bigger and bigger accounts. Because the bigger the job, the more they want Supermicro, because they're going to save more money. It's going to be more efficient. They need more density. So they're perfectly set up to capture these mega projects, these giant jobs. That's why they're forecasting such incredible growth. And that's why I think shorts are going to have an awfully, awfully hard time stepping on this thing again tomorrow. How much can they short? How much do they want to short? Into what? Like I said, he's saying 40. Does this guy sound like a guy who just throws things around, doesn't know what he's talking about? My Uncle Chucky? My Uncle Chucky chooses his words very, very carefully, like Mac. He's very deliberate. He's also an expert on bird law. You don't want to go toe to toe with Uncle Chucky on bird law. Anyway, guys. Unwashed Noto's siblings. I'm not Noto's siblings. I'm his child. I'm his firstborn. Yeah, me again, Megatron. I know. Nobody wants to see it. Blackwell chip is still overheating. Yeah, Blackwell's overheating, which is why they need Supermicro. Supermicro has super efficient liquid cooling. They got some kind of plates. They're pumping liquids through. They not only have the best liquid cooling, they have the best hybrid liquid air cooling. They're basically ahead on liquid cooling. NVIDIA knows it. Everybody knows it. And that's what's going to drive, the rapid growth in their top and bottom line. So they're the world leader in liquid cooling. Right place, right time, right core competencies, right relationships, Supermicro computer. I don't know. Hire me to sell this turd. Well, in the short term, I recommended that today, when the stock was at the very lows, you bought a bunch of weekly calls at 53. Now, you have to be incredibly stupid and fat to do something like that because it would just be reckless and dumb. But some of us might have thought of it. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to try to give you guys an option strategy. I'm not an expert on options. I'm a call flipper. I'm a penny flipper. The old honey dipper, they used to call me when I was emptying out houses. Back in Schenectady, New York. I was upstate. What are you uptown? Upstate. Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy's a classic. Costanza, just can't let it go. The Moops. It's a misprint. It's Morse. Oh, no. It says Moops. It's that petty jerk, even with a kid who lives in a bubble. Yep. If you're short and chunky, you're not chunky. Stocky. Powerful. I haven't even watched Seinfeld in like decades. How do I remember all this crap? What's wrong with me? HLF has been up since last Tuesday on big earnings beat, up 5 days in a row. And a report came out after the close, of which HLF to close 829 was a gift from 5 funds bought shares. So Michael Anthony, in addition to being a Latin heartthrob that likes to sing in flowing white dress shirts with big fans blowing him, it's like he can be your hero, baby. In addition to that, he's also a great stock picker. He's also a fan of King of the Hill. I believe is that Bobby Hill I see there? That avatar. Huge fan of King of the Hill myself. Not sure because the little red arrow's in the way. So full port SMCX. No, I got about, I don't know. I got 3 accounts with SMCX. I think I got about 150 large. And then I got about another 4,000 shares. I don't know. I got a lot of accounts. I got this thing. I've been loading this turd. I bought some last time on the run that I kept. I flipped a hell of a lot of calls. No, I don't know. I got a ton of SMCX. I got a ton of SMCI. I got a few turdy dirty birdie weeklies that I just dipped the toe in the water because I'm an idiot. Because I'm a junkie. I love this stuff. I love the action. I apologize to everybody, especially the children and Jesus, but I like to gamble. You're not in these. Somebody's telling me like, oh my God, aren't you like shocked it went down to 45? I'm like, no. Didn't you just notice it drop from like 55 to 17, go to 48, then back to 24, then back to 65, and then back to 40, all in like a couple months? This is false volatility. This is made to look like a stock that's just a wild man while they're really running it. It's like juror number 12. You're John Cusack because you're trying to take guns off the streets. You're willing to go to any means necessary. And Gene Hackman's not going to stop you. Randy Travis isn't going to stop you. Rachel Weisz isn't going to stop you. Dustin Hoffman, even in his shoulder patch jacket, even his, altruistic Pollyanna view of the world, he's just trying to save the children. He's not going to stop you. Because John Cusack gets what he wants. It's part of being John Cusack. That wasn't even a very good movie. I mean, honestly, Gene Hackman's always great. Dustin Hoffman's a good actor, but I felt like he was mailing in that performance. John Cusack, I love him in some things. Other things, I can't stand him. I don't know, the older stuff. I mean, it was great. He was sort of like the I would say like the latter iteration of the Brat Pack. Like it's like if the Brat Pack was like watered down, sort of thought they were edgy. I don't know. I draw parallels to like a Jeremy Piven. I just draw parallels. Quote, Sheriff, the mind it wanders. Anyway, guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so cool. Liquid cooled 6-pack. Beach Boy, treat yourself, buddy. I'm a call flipper. I know. I'm hopeless. Never sold my shares. Now I'm holding for a long time. Yeah, I mean, hold this turd. I mean, this should be $100 at least right now. It's ran up over 120. They've already probably doubled sales since that quarter. They're going to double sales again next year. I mean, from this quarter, I don't know. They're going to double sales. They're going to increase sales by, 65% or whatever. Conservatively. That means while they're increasing those sales, they're going to, have a nice nuclear family, go to church on Sunday. Sally, what'd you do today? Did you do your homework? Sally, could you look up from the smartphone for a minute? Sally, I'm talking to you. Do you have to drink so much, Bill? Nice conservative family. I think it's time for your pill, honey. Oh, everybody's whacked out on loopers. Love that dolphin. How do you say that? Let me see. Side funds about. Oh, we already talked about HLF. I don't even know what the hell that is. What is HLF? My brain is seriously tired, and I'm, just haven't been sleeping. I had a cold and flu. We got Rich sighing. You doing some sighing? Oh, what are you doing? I'm just getting some sighing. Anybody watch that show during COVID about those guys who just like roam around the hills, just digging up sighing, and then they sell the sighing to like these like mafia type families. They just come in with this like garbage bag full of sighing, and the guy gives them like $100,000 in cash. WTF, dude? Why am I working so hard? Why am I grinding? I should be out, looking for sighing. I don't know if you can find sighing out here because there's not even any dirt. It's all pavement. You get a jackhammer through the pavement and get down to the sighing. I guess the Chinese buy that stuff, make tea out of it or whatever, but the prices they're getting, it's just nuts. It's like a little grocery bag of that shit. Some, fat guy with a beard's giving him like 50 grand. He's just got a, $1 million cash in his desk to buy a sign. You didn't get an aneurysm. Congratulations, McLovin. Thanks for helping me cope with the pain of this stock, man. I'm up a lab. Dude, this is kind of what it is, man. It's an emotional support group because that's what they're doing. They're just beating you about the face, breast, head, neck, and chest with a ball-peen hammer. They're just going to beat you until you give up your shares. But you got to Charlton Heston those shares. Don't diamond hands it. Charlton Heston those shares. Let them take them from your cold, dead hand. They want your shares. They have to actually physically come to your home and murder you and then convince your heirs to sell those shares. That's the kind of hands I'm talking about. Go straight Charlton Heston. Go Moses on those shares. Pretend they're stone tablets. Hold on to them. Strong arm those shares. Don't diamond hands. Moses hands. Charlton Heston hands. What's up, man? It's my good buddy from Korea. Triple D's. Hey, talking about my man boobs? How dare you, sir? No, I can't translate that in real time. I wish I could. But there's my buddy, DDDDD. This guy, one of my best, I assume he's a guy. Might be a woman. I don't know. But I assume it's a man. I don't know why I do, but I just think most of my viewers are men. I don't know what that say. I have some, Flint Creek Soap Company. We got, of course, Alberto Bertie Avalanche love interest. We got Lisa, the great Lisa. We got there's women on the show, but let's face it, probably most of my viewers are men because I'm a big obnoxious moron, and men tend to gravitate toward that sort of thing. But anyway, if any of you guys read Korean, tell me what that says, and will definitely translate it a little bit later because I can't cut and paste to read it right here. And believe it or not, I'm not that smart. I'm portly, I'm slow of wit, and I do not speak Korean. So there you go. But thanks for always commenting and watching my videos, my good friend from Korea. Brian McLovin, he said, average around 38. Market makers really shook out retail and spectators. People were panicking. I don't think people realized how much institutional. Yeah, I mean, Amoro, I was telling them every single day how much they were loading up. I was showing you the filings. That's why all you have to do is look at the facts. Watch what they do, not what they say. Don't listen to the narrative. In fact, the narrative is probably 180 degrees from the truth, as it was in this case. I mean, there's some truth. There's a little bit of fire, but it's mostly all smoke and barely even any smoke. It's just mostly manure, mostly a manure spreader. Manure spitter, jackknifed on the highway. You ever seen Fletch Lives? Will it be difficult to go to 150 breaking the previous high? I mean, listen, 40 million conservative. Okay, look at 3x those sales, where you'd be. Look at 2x. I mean, I'm looking at 89, Brian with a Y McLovin. I'm looking at 89. I'm not looking at 150 right now. Let's get through all that chop that was at 89, this area here, where this algo was just working and working and working. Let's get through that area. I mean, you can see this thing was going to come out of here hot, and it perfectly lined up with the funnel. They set this thing up. It's like Hoosiers. I think I can take my man if we set him up. Let Strap take the last shot. You got Jimmy Chitwood on your team. Question the judgment of a Gene Hackman, Madison. You're wearing those short ties. Indiana, was that 1950s? Wearing a tie that barely covers up your man boobs. Why are you bothering to wear it? You want to get that tie caught in a manure spitter? Just make it half length. Couldn't afford ties in the Depression, started making them shorter. People just got fatter and they weren't prepared for it. What happened there? But yeah, so if you start to look at this, the algo was working the same slope here, and up here. So you had a ton of consolidation here. Really a nice market made. Everything after that, I believe, was just Fugazi. Yeah, you had a few things here, but we're already above that. We're going to leave that in our rear view. Like a bad relationship. We're just going to leave that behind. So this little widget here, this little ascending, flag, I don't know what you call that. A little, I don't know the technical names of these patterns. I just know what tends to happen, like as these wedges, a little bit of a downslope, the way these algos work, it explodes off of that. When they're trading a little bit of an upslope, cover your nuts because things are about to go very, very wrong. It's of course not universal, but you see it again here, trading a little bit of an upslope, falls off a cliff, trading at a little bit of a downslope, goes up completely. This is trading basically flat and then makes this massive move up. But remember, when the RSI has been completely oversold above 80, that's when this thing makes huge moves up. It's going to make another huge move up right here. It's going to at least come up to this chop, in my opinion. It'll clear this area. This is all nonsense. This is like a functional gap in the chart. It's like imagine you have a unibrow. It's kind of situation you're dealing with here. Imagine you got a lazy eye. I don't know really what that has to do with anything. Yeah, it's not going to go below 40. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. Anybody looking at the fact that this company, how much money this company makes, what they're selling, how they're growing? Is anybody paying any attention here? As I said, am I the only person who reads the numbers, looks at this industry, looks at how they're positioned, looks at the growth? It's like SoFi. I'm like, is anybody watching? What are they talking about? I was like, what they're talking about does not match what's actually happening. The narrative is completely disconnected from reality. The share price is completely disconnected from the fundamentals to the downside. Those are the opportunities. That's how you build generational wealth. I can make you guys so much money from 18 to 65. I can make you even more money from 25 to 150. I don't care how hard I have to work to make you idiots money, save you from yourselves. I haven't even been talking about penny stocks lately because you guys are too stupid to trade them. But like, can you give me an option strategy? No, I can't give you an option strategy because you won't sell them at the right time because you're too damn greedy. You're like, well, if it went to 65, it's going to go to 70. No, not all the time. Look at the volume start to run out. Look at them start to step on it. Look at the stock go down when they're not shorting, like it did on Monday, like it did today. It's a warning sign, but the problem is it ran into the fundamentals. I don't understand why people are like, okay, I'm a technical analyst or I'm a fundamental analyst. They really don't work without each other on a trading stock. Yeah, now if you're on a very stable stock like an Apple or, a Chevron or something, you can basically go by the fundamentals. So there's so much stability in that stock. Any imbalance is going to be corrected immediately by market makers, market forces, market money. It's just going to rush in to fill that void. But the way they do this, they create the uncertainty. SMCI, Sofi, Palantir. You know what's going to happen? Palantir's 8. All of a sudden it's 140. All of a sudden it's going to be back to 80. False volatility. The stock looks like a madman, but it's controlled like one of those cars on the Disneyland ride where you drive around one of those rails. Like, hey, kid, you can't go anywhere. You're not going to be able to jump the shark. It's not even going to jump the track. I love Sarah Palin naming her kid Track because she liked to run. This is Track. This is my other son, Gun. WT, like George for him, naming like 7 kids named George. I mean, you might be a bit of a narcissist. Or I don't know. Maybe that's not the right word. Whatever happened to Dr. Bob? I miss Dr. Bob. I miss Jason Joseph, but I guess I don't talk about SoFi as much. Like, I got to start making SoFi videos again. SoFi goes like any lower, I'm going to buy a bunch of shares. That's not a threat. That's a promise. It's Fatma Arikopur. I have a feeling if I say that out, it's going to like say something dirty. Like Mike Hunt. He was waiting for this video. Well, wait no more. Your wait is over. Like, this is the line ride. It's a real simulation of a real live line. I love that. I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a swing trader. Me and Princess Jay are in a committed relationship, so no. Wait, is this the same DDD guy from Korea? Translated himself? That's no fun. It's no fun if I can tell what you're saying. Dennis seen a rise in the East. Got rug pulled from 46, came here to cope, then bought 4 times, went all in. Shikhar Shrivastava. Shikhar Shrivastava. Hello, this is my good friend, Shikhar Shrivastava. I feel like I'd have more credibility in meetings if I just had an associate named Shikhar Shrivastava. I still can't say it, but I'm stupid. I'm a stupid fat American. I know like little bits and pieces of other foreign languages, but I'm just too stupid to really buckle down and learn one. Not that I'm very smart. I can't focus. I know a lot of people are diagnosing me with various things, and probably most of you are right. Definitely have the shiniest head on YouTube. Never trust an analyst unless they do just a total fat man workout. 5 sets of preacher curls, chicken quesadilla. That's what you call a superset. The super is the quesadilla. Runway is cleared, absolutely. From what they said, and they couldn't say this in public if it wasn't true, that staff at NASDAQ have communicated that they are clear and the matter is closed and all their filings are up to date. So, Hindenburg can suck it easy. The shorts can, try to step on D's nuts. God knows they hang low enough where you might be able to step on them if you got lucky. As long as you're not in a stiletto heel, I could probably deal with it. Oh, show focuses way too much on my testicular aging problems. talk about a lot about wrinkles and Botox and stuff, but you do Botox down there? It's already wrinkles. It's gravity. Hello, gravity, how's my huevos? 911, what's your emergency? Gravity has my huevos. It won't let go. It's horrendous. Send help immediately. I'm a boxer. I need briefs. I need briefs. Oh, Neo. God, they like to kick that stock around like a freaking soccer ball or a football, as you folks in the developing world would say. You may be the great Cornholio, and I don't think I'm threatening you, but you definitely need TP for your bunghole. I'm going to be the richest emotionally support group. Indeed, you are. Make a Neo video. I've been so stuck on this stock. I've just been obsessed with it, kind of, as you can tell. But yeah, still hold all my Neo shares. Way too many Neo shares. Way too many Neo shares. No, I have not looked at the HLF chart. I haven't. What the hell is HLF? It's annoying me now. Oh, Herbalife. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know these people. Dude, I mean, you want to talk about fraud? I know. I don't want to say anything that's going to get me sued by this guy, but yeah. No, I will take. I haven't looked at Herbalife stock in a long time, to be honest with you. The Honest Company. Yeah, a lot of people think it's like, like a multi-level like marketing. I know it's evolved over time. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take a look at it, brother. But yeah, it's just probably not for me. But who knows? The big P, the big P, Payush Buttercupp, Memphis in the house, indeed. Mr. Premium the option, Boy Tree didn't see you sleep. What time is it over there in the motherland? What's going on, Mr. Premium the option? How are you today, sir? We got Payush, SMCI to 75. Actually, Payush, I got to correct you, my good friend. SMCI is going to 89. SMCI going to 89. Baba has been absolutely ripping. Yeah. I remember Baba was just at 70 or so. He was just coming up, pushing 140. Yeah, what a pop. Like doubled, I think, almost. Very short order. But, it's Chinese stocks, volatility. You got all kinds of things going on. So a lot of people think we could be in a hot war over there. But I personally don't think the current administration is going to go all in for Taiwan. I don't see it. But, hey, a nut bra, a man's ear, a ball sack type apparatus. This stock goes to 150 in 2 months while you retire. Now, Brian with a Y. I'm too wound up to retire. I don't need this stock to retire. I can retire on some other stuff. I can retire on anxiety alone. The heat generated from my anxiety, my under man boob heat, will keep me warm through the long, hard nights. SMCI shirts, sure enough, SMCI longs, Leroy. Oh man, Payush, I can go there. Rain Man is here. Rain Man, I gotta watch Wapner. Excellent driver. What do you think SMCI will end up by year end? Raymond, if you get to the first quarter in their fiscal 2026, which is the July, August, September quarter, and they actually look like they might sell that 40 billion, I don't think there's any reason the stock shouldn't be at all-time highs by the end of this year. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just so stupid. You're like throwing darts at a dartboard. Will it be at 89? Will it be at 120? Will it be at 150? Will it be at 220? I have no idea. I mean, if I just had to throw out a number by the end of this year, it just in my dreamland, I would say like 135. That's just, that's really what I think the stock will be worth if they continue to perform how they say they're going to perform. I think it's still undervalued there, but I think there's a lot of uncertainty around the stock that's going to have it trading at a bit of a discount from where it would be if everything had been clean all along and they had this type of growth. I mean, if everything was clean all along, they had this type of growth, never had any scandals or anything, this would probably be 2x where it is right now, at least. Stars are blind now. Good song. Absolutely. It is a good song, Cork on the Ocean. Like, I don't know why everybody hates on Paris Hilton. She's successful and thin. Eyes are a little off, but she's a fake voice. They got something stuck in their shorts. Looks like a smart Walter White, the main character in Brave. I really feel like I look more like a fat Paul Newman, but I appreciate that. At least you didn't say Seth Rogen or Jelly Roll. Stock Rogan. I like that guy who calls me Stock Rogan. I don't actually resent being compared to Seth Rogen. I don't really think I look anything like Seth Rogen. I just think he has kind of a fat face and I have a fat face. We both have facial hair. Otherwise, I don't really see it, but whatever. A lot worse people you can be compared to. Oh, premium the option is here, 5 a.m., 89 by the end of the week. No, I don't think it's going to be 89 by the end of the week. No, I think when I'm saying short term, talking like, this quarter, maybe next month, 6 weeks. I don't think it's going to shoot up. You have to be pretty dramatic short squeeze incoming. But remember, it was just at 66. So it actually pulled back like 30%, off the highs. So there's no reason it can't make up that 30% in an instant. And 100 million shares plus are sold short, I would guess. They have a lot of shares on loan. They could definitely attack it again tomorrow, but I think it would be extremely foolhardy to do so. I think BlackRock and Vanguard and the boys are just done. Like Opoil. I don't know, Carl, just till I get that certain tingling in my balls and it says sell. Even like when I feel like the run, I'll sell that and I'll go back to shares because I don't know if you could sell covered calls on SMCX. I don't think so, but I just want to go back to my core strategy, which is just holding shares long term and selling calls. Sort of a modified Danny Wheels strategy, not a Danny Deal strategy, a Danny Wheels strategy. It's a wheel and deal. And no, I'm not going to start making videos on how I do options because you'll all think I'm an idiot, and I am an idiot. But what works for me probably won't work for you because your mind is not, completely clinically, insane. But I laugh at risk. I scoff at risk. Paper losses, actual losses, real losses, living in a cardboard box. None of that bothers me. If I think I'm right, I just go down with the ship. And I just keep when they push it down like they did, I just keep pushing more and more in. I'm just like, I'm right, you're wrong. Scoreboard, deal with it. And I got lucky again. Keep getting lucky on stocks. Fat, stupid, and lucky. No way to go through life. I'm going to cover call on Affirm $50 strike, 2 years out. What do I suggest? Covered call on Affirm $50 strike, 2 years out. Well, where are you up on it? Are you down on it? I don't know. I don't pay that much attention. I know Affirm has been doing very well. Let's see. So a $50 call, 2 years out. Well, that's certainly a nice position. It's kind of looked like SoFi. I mean, the stock ran up to 174. I mean, this is a nice base. Very similar to what you saw with SoFi. I mean, you're coming off a low of $10 and, you 5x'd since that point, since sort of, earlier 2023, so you 5x the stock. And I just have to hold that for now and see, because you could definitely have a very, explosive move to the upside again on Affirm. Pushed up, well over 100 back here, over 100 here. Stock was 52 here. So these are not unprecedented levels, and they've been doing pretty well. I would assume you didn't buy that call 2 years out and pay that premium just to, dump out of it this quickly. But some people take profits, and that's smart too. I mean, you can start another position if you feel, hey, there's something else that I think will 5x in the next 2 years, and I don't feel like this is going to go to 300. I don't know, but I still think you have a lot of delta. I think you have a lot of potential in that call. So yeah, you're up on it. And a lot, it depends on your tax situation too. I mean, can you take gains right now? Would you rather take gains in a year? Do you think they'll have gains in a year? I'm not huge on these, these like sort of checkout lender companies is installment loan. I know they sell off loans and there's profit in it, but I think it's very cyclical. It's like the same reason I like SoFi more than I like Robinhood. I mean, when crypto's down, the tech bros are down, the land bros are down, SoFi can grind it out. SoFi can make loans. SoFi can have its banking business. SoFi is its finger in so many different pies. I just believe it's a more resilient business built for the long term. SoFi is the pig that built its house out of bricks. So recessions and depressions and regulations and crypto, so it can come and go. But SoFi is building a durable business to become a top 10 financial institution, according to my biological father, Anthony Noto, CEO of Sofi Technologies Incorporated. Ticker symbol SOFI. I miss saying that. I miss talking about SoFi like a psychopath every day. BDO said that it had an adverse opinion of the SM. The company did not maintain effective control over its financial reporting. It basically means that management was not, playing fast and loose with the numbers, and they didn't have the proper division between the audit committee and the, compliance people and the lawyers. I know the CFO played a big role in that in terms of them not being in compliance. One of the things I really don't get is why they haven't hired that new CFO. I haven't filled some of these key roles because they definitely have money to offer people a rich package. Nice rich package you have there. I don't know, guys. What a trading desk. I'm not going to get into answering. What am I, Kramer? What am I, a bald asshole with $1 billion charitable trust? Oh, I love my Anthony Noto. I give it so far. I love so much. Super micro. I say sell. Accounting rate. I love it. It's parabolic. It went up. I love it now. It's down. It's down. I hate it. It's up. I would see Kramer with like a bad toupee. PGY, they make a big loss of his shares. AMD looks like a buy. Yeah, I don't know. Like financial education, Jeremy, he was just all over AMD for a while, saying it was like the greatest stock in the world, and I think he changed his mind on it. I'd have to do more research. I'm not an expert on AMD. It was a little bit lower recently. It looked like a good buy to me, but I don't follow, the stocks enough. I'm not smart enough to understand like semiconductors, like Pentiums, Ultiums, what they do, how many gigs of RAM, how does that all fit into a neural link? What does that have to do with the Ozempic craze? Getting rid of fat people. Ozembic's like the cochlear implant for devs, decimating the fat community. All you norms, you guys fit in a coach seat. You can fit in a coach seat. I don't trust you. If you're over 8 years old and you can fit your ass in a coach seat, you're not really an American in my book. Got to have a body mass index at least 60% too high. America. Moo, New, AMD. I don't know, bookend tackles. Rivian, I mean, their numbers are improving very, very quickly. I mean, I'll say that for them. And they're losing $30,000 a vehicle. They've got a new car. I mean, it's a lot of promise. It's like sort of like Lucid, except they're actually sort of more of a real company, I think. But I mean, I like the product. Like I said, the people that process the product. I'm not a big fan of that Scaringe guy. Jensen from AMD can do the leather jacket. That Shringe douche. I don't wear a leather jacket while you're burning that much money. Wear a leather jacket once you're in profit. And you look cool in that brand new leather jacket you just bought. You get dick. That's what I think of him. They have ties to Volvo and Amazon. Yeah, they're building those Amazon vans. I see them. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think they have a good product. I think they have some excellent engineering. I just think they had horrible financial controls for a while. But as they saw the money going out the door, I think the CEO realized, like, hey, we're going to be bankrupt here. Nobody's going to keep giving me money just to pour gasoline on it and incinerate it. Can't fight fires with gasoline. Ask Prof. Anyway, guys, I got to get the hell out of here. Yeah, Volkswagen adores Rivian. Volkswagen has just entered a partnership in batteries with CATL. Volkswagen's partner with Xpeng. Volkswagen's basically their entire company's basically a bunch of fucking partnerships. But anyway, guys, it's SMCI. It's Un Poco Mas. I want to thank the great not a lurker J Money. Would like to thank the in absentia great Alberto Bertie Aviles. Of course, I want to thank all of you turds. I want to thank the greatest of the great, the greatest person in the history of the world who has to put up with me in real life, which, as you can imagine, is not easy at all. And of course, that's the great Princess J. Guys, welcome and hello and goodbye. I'm so sick of you guys. I'm not going to make any more videos. I don't have an outro video. Peace. I'm out. That'll have to suffice. Have a great night, everybody. Gonna be an exciting day tomorrow. Let's get a check just before I hit the button here. Yeah, so same thing, guys. They're holding it right there. Algo's working on Robinhood. Anyway, guys, have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite and all that happy stuff. I'm out.